here it is. I just looked up the list of oil spills that BP has been a part of just because, kind of curious. And it's a lot more than you would think. Some of them are small. Small. 5 tons of oil is still a lot. But there's a lot on here that it's like they spilled over 1,000 tons of oil. And there's some on here that are just marked unknown. Some of y'all might already know this, but in 2005, the company BP, British Petroleum, tried to popularize the whole carbon footprint ideology for individuals specifically. At the time, the company had been getting a lot of flack from some recent oil spills. And so they started this whole campaign to talk about personal carbon footprint to basically try and turn that back against the consumers. Now listen, I feel like a lot of people misuse the term gaslighting these days, but here's the actual definition of it. It's the manipulation of someone into questioning their own perception of reality. Gaslighting isn't just lying to someone, it's more like Truman Showing someone. So when I say that BP has basically tried to gaslight people, for the better part of the past 2 decades, I mean it, because they are trying to make individual consumers think that their carbon footprint is something that is significant enough that they should be worrying about it, and that they should be worrying about it more than these big companies. But listen, here's the thing. I'm not the one who's spilling 1,230,000 tons in a single spill. Now, it was a pretty long spill that apparently lasted for more than a year. This was in 1910 and 1911. But over 1.2 million tons of oil spilled. And this company then, in 2005, decided, let's start talking about personal carbon footprints. Let's turn this back around on people and make them think that they're the problem. No, guys, we are not the problem. It's companies like this that's the problem. Like, I'm not saying don't recycle. Obviously, do what you can to help. But we as individuals, we as consumers, we as normal citizens are not the ones who are saying, let's package all of our stuff in plastic, in single-use plastic that's going to end up in a landfill. We're not the ones making those decisions. There are things that I need to buy that the companies who make these things are making bad decisions environmentally. And so I can't just not wear pants. But when every company that's manufacturing pants is doing things that are bad for the environment, I don't really have a choice. I have to wear pants. But anyway, yeah, no, so BP is literally trying to gaslight people into making us think that this is our burden to bear. And it is really, really not. Obviously, recycle, and do those small everyday things that you can do to, like, help the environment. But we're not the ones that are choosing to burn fossil fuels. We're not the ones that are choosing to use plastic. There are so many good alternatives out there that already exist. Honestly, we could be almost 100% off fossil fuels if oil companies hadn't been blocking this shit for the past, like, I don't know, century. Like, literally, there was a big movement for electric cars 30 years ago that was shut down by gas companies, by oil companies. If you want more information about that kind of shit, there's a great documentary out there called Who Killed the Electric Car, and it goes into that stuff a lot more than obviously I have the time or capacity to right here. My overall point being, do what you can for the environment, but don't forget who's really actually causing these issues. Your carbon footprint as an individual is so small that even if you weren't to recycle, it would still be way outweighed by these massive companies. Because again, we're not making these choices to use plastic. We're forced into these decisions. That's the only option for us out there. They're the ones that are making these decisions. They're the ones that are doing these things that are incredibly damaging for the environment, for this planet that we all have to live on, that we all have to share. They're kind of ruining it for everyone. And, here's the other thing. They talk about how, oh, humans are destroying the planet. No, humans are not destroying the planet. The super rich are destroying the planet. The people who are actually in the position to make these decisions to keep using single-use plastic, to keep using fossil fuels, even though we've had better alternatives for decades, they're the ones that are ruining the planet. Humans aren't ruining the planet. Rich people are ruining the planet. They're going to destroy the planet's ability to support human life. The Earth has gone through massive meteors, it's gone through ice ages, it's gone through all kinds of insane mass extinction events. There has been some really wild shit that has happened on Earth. And at one point, Earth was just like a floating ball of lava in the middle of space. Even if we really, really mess up Earth, we're not going to kill the Earth. We're just going to be killing humans. The ones responsible for that are the rich. Same people who, when things get bad, are going to build themselves rocket ships and try to go live on Mars. Moral of the story is that the rich people are kind of ruining it for everyone. And you and I should still be doing what we can to help the planet. And yes, to reduce our carbon footprint. But really, the people that are the big issues are the people that are forcing us into using fossil fuels, the people that are forcing us into using single-use plastics, the people who can make a change for good, but are choosing not to because money is getting in the way of that. The lobbyists, the rich people, the CEOs who want to optimize their backwards synergy overflow return potential quarterly report, or whatever. Like and subscribe. And make sure that, if you get the chance to, yell at an oil executive. Okay, bye. Oh, hi, puppy. Over here, Coda. Look at the camera. Yeah, you usually get to see one of the cats sleeping in the middle of the day in the cat tree, but Coda doesn't always bug me when I'm recording, so I don't always get to see him. Okay, bye.